Welcome everybody to Absolutely Unnecessary. We have two special guests today. We have our former teammate and now owner-operator of CBR MMA up in Canberra, Ryan Gillett, depends if you're Simon or me, how you say it.
Gillett.
And then,
You're saying it wrong, bro.
Yeah. And then we have biggest fuckwit in Australian MMA, Mitchell Tinley here to, stir the shit. Let's get right into it. Hex tonight, big night of fights, but only 6-7 fights on the card.
There's a few more than that, isn't it?
I think it's
6 or 7.
No, it's still, there was 12. There's been a couple out. I think it'd be 9 or 10 still.
Ooh, nah,
You were at the weigh-ins last night. There's like 6 or 7
Well, we're in
fights.
4, and then there's Randall.
And then
You got Volders, your boy.
Volders.
Well, so let's say the 4 abs, 4 like.
Yeah, then Randall and that, and then the middleweights.
And Justin's doing that.
And Jono McCallum. So there's 7 fights.
Yeah. Is that here?
So I reckon the big question is if Sam
got Larry
wins. If Sam wins the belt, does he drop it immediately?
It's like, so. What a fucking waste. I actually heard Jacob last night actually going along with you going, yeah, it'd be great to see them fight. So unequivocally, those two will never fight.
No, I know they will never fight, but what's happening? Is he dropping it immediately or is Khan just done with Hex?
What's that, sorry?
Will Khan be done with Hex?
Who
or-
knows? I don't know.
Come on,
I
it
think
comes up.
either of the simple answer is
Who cares?
one of them or the other is going to go to the big leagues before that, before it even becomes an issue. So fucking let them both hold it for a bit. Who gives a fuck?
How many international fights has Khan had now?
Oh, I don't know. He's had UA Warriors. He's had Brave.
Bro,
he's had.
that moment ain't going to kill him. No contender for him or any. He's ready to jump that point,
Yeah,
I
look,
reckon.
he is, but I mean, obviously, he's still got to deal with that.
If you come back from an injury, I mean, you know, do the UFC won't. They'll surely want another fight, won't they?
Who? Look, I don't know. We haven't got much feedback, to be perfectly honest, so we don't know.
The UFC are unique in that they don't operate like there's this kind of framework that you envisage happening. Like, if you have 10 fights or if you have, like, I remember Simon said to me when I got here, he was like, look, we need to get you to at least 10 wins and then we'll go from there. Right. And then we did that. We got the 10 wins and then we got to contenders and it worked. Like, I was lucky that it worked that way for me. But they don't, like, you see Tom Nolan, five good fights, he went straight in. Right. And then Khan, whose record is arguably best out of any weight class in any category in Australia and level of opponents as good as anyone. And he can't get a sniff, in terms of the feedback that we've got currently. So it's weird how it works like that.
Putting people into a selection window, having an O like Tom Nolan.
Yeah.
But also Tom Nolan's just like 6'3", he's 23, like he's white.
Yeah.
Like, he's just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know white matters. No, but you know what I mean?
So, are you in
Khan was looking fairly tan today.
What?
No, I just mean like he's unmarketable. You know what I mean?
So dark people are
you know what I mean?
And
You know what I mean?
wait, so Khan's
no,
not marketable?
No, but he's like, Turkish, maybe they don't like that. I don't know. Guys, I'm just
So just Turkish people you don't like.
Not everyone, just
I'm
her.
just saying Australia, there's stuff
So for any of the
there.
Turkish community attending Hex this evening, if you'd like to talk,
And they will be big. There will be a large
many.
No,
Turkish
they
contingent.
like me.
Not anymore, they don't.
They did. They did.
You know
like
this
it.
isn't going to make it to you guys. Have to put this one up.
We're just going to cut
He's
this.
going to take.
Why Mitch Tinley hates Turkish people.
He's just going to tank the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go through the fights. Yeah, we don't need help.
We weren't going to talk about the UFC, and now we just directly into UFC fights.
First fight, Alistair Overeem versus Kane Rickers.
Yeah.
Alistair, one of the weirdest cunts I know. Love him to death.
He does have a personality about him.
He's
it looks
so
like.
funny.
Where's he getting all that American money from?
Oh,
JJ.
JJ Ambrose. He's the highest paid fighter in Australia.
So funny.
But Al, with all his quirks, and he's a bit different, he always shows up to training.
Yeah.
He takes feedback really well. And he's improved a lot. Like, he's been training here and his grappling's gone to another level since he got here, built on the foundations that he's already had with his big amateur career. And then he's been hitting pads with my coach, Andy Colgrave, and he's sort of learning a little bit more now to sit down on his shots rather than just be the long guy. I'm really excited. I think he'll win tonight pretty convincingly. He's a good.
Did I read something about twisters or something? He's like, did he hit a twister in his last
Oh,
fight?
I don't think that was a joke.
That's just him
so
taking the
he's-
piss again.
We actually don't. We have I put up the thing about Kane Rickers, and Alistair messaged me and we were talking, and I said I'd give him $500 if he pulled guard and pulled off a twister.
Yeah,
so
okay.
That is there.
So if he pulls guard,
It's a long way to go from guard to a truck.
we know who we have to go for.
yeah, well that was the thing, so that's why the money went up. But
Is it Kane's debut as well?
Yes,
pro.
Kane's debut.
So 2 pro debuts. So that'll be a good fight.
So
It'll be
Kane's
good.
coming 2-6 in his amateurs. He was one of those ones where it's like, I mean, you do know a few guys like that where
Better than their record.
Yeah, there's sort of like 6 split decision losses in a row. So now they're all
Yeah.
6. Like,
Yeah.
but he's always struggled with like the weight and the sort of discipline of it type thing. But Luestro Combat Academy's doing real well with obviously Cody Haddon and Quillen there. So
astute.
well, he's ready. He's ready to go. Is he at the top echelon of that gym? No.
Yeah.
But he works hard. Look, if I had to pick it, probably Volders. But I mean, Kane's tough as hell. So
And we were talking before, personalities in this sport, like there's some weird dudes here, and sometimes the weird guys, they're the goodies, you know, they get out there and do crazy shit. You know?
Alistair,
actually-
to be fair, Alistair makes himself look weirder than he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually like, he kind of leans into it a bit. He's not that
He should lean
weird.
into
Like,
Alan DeGeneres thing. That's what I'm trying because that's what he looks like. But you know, the combat. It's the first time I've ever had a fighter application refused. I signed his paperwork, but you know they ask for it's optional just for the combat sports. So it's optional. Do you want to put any other comments about the fighter? And I said he fights better than he looks. He would. Looks like he would. That was all I wrote. And the combat boards rejected it and said that I needed to provide more information, even though I'd filled out all the other bits. But that was the first time.
Well, that's like
I thought it was pretty honest.
Andy tried to get someone registered, and he's like, "You've never had to fill out like a why I say this person." It's like,
No.
you've licensed me as a trainer. I tick a box that says yes, they're ready to fight.
Yeah.
That should be it. I don't have to give you a paragraph on why they're ready to fight. So Andy just wrote, "Yes, this person knows how to punch and kick and defend."
Yeah.
Right. And then they sent it back and said it wasn't a good enough explanation.
I'll be honest, I've taken the piss on those applications before. I've written stuff like, he's really bad, but so is his opponent, so it should be all right. Like, that's what I've written on the form.
Yeah.
Never had anything. And then on
you
the
guys-
We're
box,
starting to
obviously-
take it seriously.
Do you guys have to do criminal history checks in Melbourne?
Not for the fighters.
For a trainer, you do.
Bro, for the fighters, we've got to do it. And I had this one guy that was trying
No
to
one
get
would be
fighter-
left to fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. And like, they contacted this guy and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, mate. You've been flagged as a criminal." And he's like, "Oh, well, I did go to prison." You know, he was like, "That's me." You know, and I'm like, and he's a nice bloke, you know, trying to use the sport as a platform to do better, you know. And a lot of people do come from that back. I'm like, "The fuck is going on here? Criminal history checks on fighters." Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah, no. That is...
a weird one.
Next fight is Khan and Harry Webb.
Yeah.
Tough one for me. I am great mates with Harry. We spent, when lockdown was on, we spent a fair bit of time training together. So we've been friends for a long time. So I sort of absolved myself from that fight in that sense. But I just think, like, from my opinion, I don't see the value in them fighting right now. Like, 2 of the best amateurs coming onto the scene, they're both either 0 or 1 fight into their pro career. I don't know why they had to fight now, because I think it's a lose-lose. One of them's going to go home with a loss, never good, for someone who's really high level. And then the other one's going to go home with a road to who's the next fight. Right? Like,
where do
who's
you
the
go?
next fight for either of them? So I just don't like, I get that fight from a, like, I want to be the best next guy. I'm the best amateur. Now I'm turning pro. I want to beat the other best amateur. I get it from that point of view, but from a purely like strategic and looking ahead point of view, I think whoever loses takes a loss, which isn't good early on, and whoever wins sets himself up to have have a tough
And even
road.
if you take a loss in a war of a fight that shows really high level, you're now 0-1, and everyone goes 0-1, but fuck, that guy's good.
Yeah, and no one wants to fight a 0-1 guy who's really good. You know? So I just don't get that fight, but I'm excited about the actual, the scrap itself is going to be really fun.
How many amateur fights did he have, Khan?
What's it? He
8-1?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
8-1.
And he lost split decision to Tom Ackley on debut.
You know what's funny is they've both got it, man. Like the
Exactly.
off the stuff. Like Harry Webb's like, I don't want to go about the look again, but like he's got it.
No,
all.
Harry talks well. He
Yeah.
looks good. His skills are like very like
I
marketable.
saw it last night. Got a hammer on him. The weigh-ins.
Oh, jeez.
And then you got like Khan Usmaker's got like you watch his YouTube and stuff.
Who won that?
The hammer. He kept it concealed.
Okay.
But because I have to make it up to the Turkish community,
Yeah.
Need something to bring me back.
but no.
As all Turkish men are here.
Yeah.
But Harry had a tough weight cut. Well, not tough, but just I guess he said their
It was
scales were
annoying,
off.
not tough. It was annoying. He didn't struggle to make the weight. His scale said he was on. He got there and the official scale was floating up and down 200 grams. And then they wouldn't they made him go cut another.
Use digital. Why don't they use the old
It's just,
school?
I don't know. It's weird. But it also they do it. It shouldn't be on like a semi-soft surface like carpet or anything. It should be on a fully flat surface. Yeah. It was weird. But anyway, he literally just sat in the sauna suit for another 15 minutes, lost 300 grams, and he was fine. He wasn't stressed. He wasn't drawn out.
No.
That MA1 sauna blanket did a really good
job. Really good. Really good.
I know they couldn't plug it in, right? Like wrong adapters and shit.
Not taking the piss. Not taking the piss. I use them for every.
Jacob's not bright.
I use them for every fight. They're brilliant.
You use them as like the burrito, like after the sauna?
After the bath.
Yeah, I think we're going to do this. And you don't find too hot on
No, so you just have it on the low setting. But you know how you're always worried about like wrapping up tight and everything? It completely absolves you of that. So I just have it.
Like 45.
I have it set on low, sit in it, and you can feel the sweat just pouring off you. And you want to get to that. That's like the key to cutting weight. You know, not that I'm giving advice, but the key to cutting weight for me is once your sweat starts, find the temperature where you're really comfortable and you can sit there moderately normal, you know, have conversations with people, talk shit, but you know you're sweating. And I find that the sauna blanket is the perfect for that.
So much better because sometimes I wrap them up, you know, and they look like little cocoons, whereas the sauna blanket, you could just do a little towel around your head and you'll be sweet.
Yeah, and I'll do shit like arms out 5 minutes, put the arms back in, then take the top off for 5 minutes, go back in.
Because you can set it as high as 60.
Yeah.
And you get them from ma1.com.
Yeah.
I heard they're expensive.
We got fucked. It's very expensive for us to ship. So didn't research that before. Warehouse to be in Hong Kong.
Well, who takes that flight then?
Who takes what
Khan
flight?
and Harry.
It's.
I'm going to say Khan because I've watched him a bit. I think he's good.
I've got I'm obviously cornering Khan, so
I'm with Harry for that one. Just like he's my boy. We grew up same team.
I just know a little bit more about Harry. That's it.
Khan's very good.
Khan's very good. Don't get me wrong.
If you have a look at their amateur records, they've taken very different pathways. Like Khan Husmek undoubtedly had the much tougher fights all the way through his amateur career.
I feel like Harry had a great way of you had to design a career like into the pros. It looks like he's sort of whatever he's done has worked.
Yeah, there's different ways. I mean, he never really got challenged as an amateur. He
had like 5 amateur belts.
Yeah, but yeah, he didn't. I'm not saying Harry's not good. I think Harry's definitely good, but I don't think he really fought anyone with more than 2 wins or 3 wins. Whereas, you know, Khan Husmek fought the Tom Achilles, he fought the Owen Coghlan's, he fought the
and Owen
and he fought like Leon Katsaris. He fought like the best. He was actively trying to find the best people he could at amateurs, whereas, you know, we actually nominated some people for Harry that Harry would have probably smoked. And I know on that we got fights knocked back. We offered
Massimo,
Max, little Max, who
Harry would have murdered him.
And Harry, it was like one of those ones where he's like, I just want to, have a crack. And I was like, oh, look, this is a tough fight, but you want it? We put it in, and then it got knocked back on the other side, and I was like, what the... Yeah, they found a photo of him training in Thailand in 2016 or something. Went, oh no, there's a ring in. God. Yeah. And Harry would have it was a 90-10 fight Harry's way. So, anyway, but he's obviously very good now and got.
And that Khan, he looked good against Owen, and Owen's a big bloke. He fought one of my guys at middleweight. Yeah, and Owen didn't look like he pushed around Khan at all. Smaller bloke. He kind of roll with the punt, roll with the grappling as well, which is hard with judo guys because they're just fucking pinning you, you know.
Yeah. No, look, I think Khan's good. I think like Harry's going to be a bit quicker, and Khan's probably. Khan's a good grappler, so and he's got decent striking too. So it'd be an interesting fight.
Very interesting.
What's you running the agenda? What's next?
Next one. What's the next fight?
It's the 2. I don't even know them, so we'll skip them. Skip them. Go to Jono and Jack.
Jack James.
Jack James.
with Damien Brown in his corner too.
Yeah.
Well, Jack James is good. I feel like he's got the grappling advantage. But I've probably given too much love to Jack James as opposed to Mikulev, so I don't know a whole lot about him in terms of like...
Jack or Jono?
John, I don't know a whole lot about Jono. I know
good.
probably too much about Jack. If I've interviewed someone and not the other, I tend to lean that way.
Lean towards the one you've interviewed.
Which is always tricky. But I think Jack grapples him, if I'm being honest.
Ooh, I don't know that. Who's the last guy that Jono fought?
Well, see, Jono had the grappling match with Dylan Lahari. It was very close. I think like Dylan didn't really. Jono probably adapted to the rules and the point set better, and Jono won, I think, a decision or point. I can't remember even what exactly the rule set was, but he can grapple, like I think, and defensively.
The last dude Jono beat though was a real good grappler from Queensland.
Well, he beat Jamie Spawn.
Jamie Spawn, that's it. He takes people's back and chokes on body triangle, rear naked choke, and he didn't look like he struggled at all. Yeah, he looked. I was really impressed with him.
The really classic, good southpaw weapons, good straight left, good left high.
Left to left, boom, boom.
Yeah,
He's good.
Do you reckon Jono's got it then?
Look, I think they're both good. Like, I don't, the boys, Jack came down for a weekend, was in Melbourne and trained with some of the boys, and they said he was pretty good as well. So,
Black belt, I think, is that.
Yeah, look, I think sometimes the belts in jiu-jitsu get overstated a little bit. What's that?
I said, yeah.
Like their importance, actually.
I'm a purple belt.
Yeah,
Anyway,
same as Joey. Like, you're the same belt as like Joey or. Look, Shane Parker and Manu, we probably. I don't.
I think Manu takes that.
Yeah,
quite convincingly.
Shane Parker on this on Hex. Oh, damn! There you go. It's good to see him back.
Yeah. It looks like a massive size difference.
That's the main thing away, and his fight with Logo.
Look, and he was fighting 10 years ago and looking like flyweight Shane Parker, like an absolute animal. Don't know, coming back at it.
Bantamweight, and he hasn't. Is this his first comeback fight from a long layoff?
I think so. And he was like, he finished. Was it Drillich? He finished Anthony Drillich, Manu.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it was a long layoff for Parker.
Yeah, Parker fought a beatdown, the last beatdown or whatever.
Okay.
So in June or something against Logo.
Yeah.
Well, good that they're, two guys coming back.
And did Logo.
Yeah, Logo pretty convincing. I was back and forth here and there, but like it was all Logo.
Yeah, I mean, Logo's good though too. Yeah. Like, he's at the upper echelon. Was it finished or decision?
I think it was a decision.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
Ground and pound, round 2.
Well, that was the decision.
Yeah. The referee decided to stop the fight. All right, what's next?
The next fight is
Sam.
Oh no, Raja and Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't put that on me. I reckon Cody. I like Raja. I don't know. He'll probably. And Raja probably stab me in the face. But like, I'm also. You got to remember, I'm heavily Perth biased as well.
Yeah.
Like, I really do like Raja, and like as a person as well. I just think Cody, and there's no shame to losing to him. But like, I think if Cody and Steve run it back, Cody would get it, and that's Steve Erceg, and that's a big call type thing. But that's how good I think Cody is.
He's looking good, that Steve. Oh, I was impressed with that Cody, and like he fought on Rogue, and he finished. Was he a Korean, that bloke?
Yeah.
And that was a good finish.
That's
but
Rogue.
Yeah.
That was a terrible match.
Yeah, but look, I reckon
I can say that honestly. It only cost me like 27 grand to bring 3 Koreans with hepatitis, and then the one dude that dislocated his own shoulder 16 seconds in. I felt like I really got good value for that as a promoter.
Man, but I'm looking at this like super impressed by that Cody. But Raja, to me, he looks like that bloke that when you lock him in there, he's a bit of a different animal, and I think he will find a way.
Yeah, look, Raja is probably one of the most skilled and naturally talented people I've ever seen. Yeah. He's unfortunately had this won't go to air before the fights, but he's had a pretty horrid run with injuries in the lead up to this. But I think he's
Cody which is like, as long as they both get in the cage, I'm happy.
Yeah, and he's actually reasonably fit now and reasonably injury free, as he had the best camp. Probably, he's done the best he can under the circumstances. But I think Raja, watch out.
Was he hurt?
Yeah, he's had it. Like, I won't go into details, and I'm sure if it's going post, I don't want to make it look like excuses or whatever. But look. Raja is still very fucking capable of sleeping and very
that
good.
dude, if he starts feeling himself.
I said it at the press conference, and I was like, they're talking about Cody being the great fighter.
Yeah.
They're only talking about Raja about like, he's got crazy spinning elbows. And I was like, you got to talk
That's just
like...
one, he's Very. If he's on, he'll give anyone, like he'll still give Jack a hard time or Khan or any of those boys, especially in the stand up and stuff. And people sleep on his actual wrestling's pretty. You know, he's not a jiu-jitsu guy, but he's.
We train with Mark Munoz.
Yeah,
Mark Munoz.
People really underestimate
Yeah.
Raj, and I think or just because to be fair, he just hasn't been that active over time in his time.
3.5 years, I think, until so.
Yeah.
I reckon you back him. I reckon he's going to shine. I reckon. I reckon just look at him and see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But.
Yeah, look, I still think I respect Cody. I think he's really good, but I definitely think Raja can win. And and then Sam Abdullah. I mean, it's a bit weird for me as a coach, even commenting like I'm unbiased, but yeah, I think I know Sam's a massive underdog in this fight.
As he should be in terms of the narrative. Not the skill. I always talk about this, not the skill of the fighters, because everyone in the gym's no different like that. But who he's fought and who Abdullah's fought. It's like, Abdullah's going to be the guy. But even as a guy, I'm a bit tricky with Abdullah because I saw him walk into the gym the very first time. So I can't believe how good he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
because you saw someone, I used to get the better
Like,
of
I literally used to throw him around. And it's like, and now Steve Kennedy can't take him down. I mean, Steve is like 50, but like, he's gassed to the gills. But like, you know what I mean? So it's like Abdullah doing really, really well. And I thought Josh Coon might have like taken him, and the way that Abdullah just pieced everyone up. But it's like, I have to back Abdullah, but if Sem beat him, I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I got to actually corner Sem with Simon as we were on Eternal. I had a mate.
Sam's one loss. Just saying.
Sam's one loss. Yeah, it was definitely my fault. Man.
Yeah.
But talking to that kid and watching his progression as it's gone, and I have been following him for years too, like watching what he's been doing. I think he's the next gen to come through. I think. And with his training partners, he's got it absolute. And that it's going to be a real good fight. I'm keen to watch it, but I think that kid he's all in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're both like.
I think Sam in the next 2 years is the next guy.
He's the next
guy,
guy.
But I just don't think it's tonight.
Yeah.
Don't tell him that.
Obviously, I don't agree, but we'll see.
I mean, we're both heavily biased on two different sides of it, but
Yeah, I can definitely understand why the odds are what they are. Like looking at it, and the last one, Randall, Ray, and Ricky. I mean, Randall's actually quite short, short price, which I don't know. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I
think Ricky's going to take it.
It's great that we can talk about these fights, and generally it's not often you go into local cards where there's like, don't know, and you look at the whole card. There's not many where you go.
Well, that's where you go back to the Khan and Harry Webb one. That's where don't like it for their careers, but I do like it.
I get it. If the promotions can make that fight, that is golden. But those fights don't happen probably enough to be honest. But anyway, back to who you got.
Look, I like Randall. I heard him say last night, what are you looking forward to? And he's like, a pack of fucking cigarettes. And I just get around these blokes.
Must have been a great journalist to get.
Great question.
But I get around these blokes that fight like that, you know what I mean? And some bloke from Western Sydney that's got, like he's got cannonballs in his hands.
Yeah.
He's just talked like he's nearly done. He's talked about his injuries. He talked he barely got through the training camp because he's so hurt. And I just think Ricky is in his prime.
Ricky's looked better.
Coming off a loss.
He needs to do.
Is he coming off a loss now?
No, he's 2 wins.
He had a good fight with that Korean bloke. Yeah. I think.
I think he's going to work the leg kicks, and I think he's going to out grapple him for like a decision. But I
don't think his grappling's too bad. That Randall Ray though. I think it's.
It's very very good. Yeah. And also, I shook Randall's hands, and they're the fucking largest hands I've ever put. Like I felt like a baby.
Yeah,
where I shook Ricky's hand. I'm like, that's a big guy, but like. Randall's hands, like he's got 2 toasters for this, and getting hit with those.
Yeah.
And that's heavyweight, man. You get hit by that shit. Sometimes you go down,
Yeah.
And Randall
but
probably.
Ricky's tough. Like Larry hits pretty hard. And he's managed to stay in there with Larry.
Well, first, who you got, and then who's the fight of the night?
I think tied for the 2 fights that are even money. Khan and Harry and Raja and Cody, I think, are going to be cracking fights. Whether, I think that they're both, very exciting fights. Heavyweights are exciting normally for a couple of minutes when they
when they get going.
Respectfully to heavyweights, whoever falls on top in the last round normally wins.
Yeah, I've never been like this excited for a card. Is it the biggest one that Australia's ever seen? No. None of them are. None of them can compete with like when you had Pelele, fucking Daniel Cormier, fucking Whitaker, all on those cards. Like you just can't.
Daniel Cormier?
Remember when
he fought in Sydney.
He beat the shit out of Soa.
Yeah.
Fuck, I did not know that.
Did you not know that?
Sydney, I think,
it was
right?
like, he was literally like, he came in, there's a story to it, and he like, Daniel Cormier, like came, I think it was like 3-0 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you see a picture of him, and so I was like, man, I can take him type thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, it'd be easy, it'd be fine. He's 3-0, but you're fine.
Yeah.
And they get in there, and he literally just crucifixes him.
Yeah.
Like holds Soa down and just beats the shit out of him. And Soa was like, I'm done. I'm going to retire. He's like, I can't. And then obviously Cormier goes on to be who he is. But Soa was like, what the fuck? Like this little 6 foot like dad bod guy.
But at the time, was that the fight it now looks like now?
No, so that's the other thing.
You don't know what.
It's like Malaki versus Volk. Like it wasn't.
It
wasn't as big a thing as it is.
So you don't know if like Sem and Abdullah meet in 3 years' time in the UFC, would look back at this card, or Harry and Kat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You
sometimes
never know.
You don't know. You probably
I think it's the
didn't look
best card of the year, including the Sydney card.
Yeah.
Especially with Eternal, especially now with Matt Myers out.
Yeah.
Look, and there's something about Raja too. Like I've been following him for years, all those spinning elbow KOs, like how mad he's been. Like he got a real like strong record full of dudes. I'm really looking forward to watching Raja. As like a fan, like I'm a fan of Raja, you know. So it'll be good to watch him get in there and swing.
One of the best people to watch. And so is like
entertainment value.
Fight of the night. I'll finish it on this. The fight of the night will be backstage between Khan and Justin.
Yeah. That wouldn't be a fight.
I got him.
That's where I'll sign off.
Classic. Thank you, man. Cheers.